Hello, ELL students. This is our second lesson for week 2 of our learning. And today is another review lesson to help us prepare for the future weeks. Today, we're going to be reviewing how to read an informational article. To be successful today, you can, 1, get a piece of paper and copy down notes. Or 2, print the notes off of my website if you can print at home. I will give you an assignment at the end of this lesson that I expect you to email to me, and I will show you how to do that. So today we're going to go over reading an informational article. So first, we need to remember, well, what is an informational article? Well, an informational article is a nonfiction writing. So remember, fiction is a story that is made up. It is not real. Nonfiction is something that is real. They're supposed to give information about a topic, an event. So some examples of this: anything that you find in the news, like newspapers, news articles, watching the news on TV or listening to it on the radio, that is an informational article. A report, magazines, biographies, all of these are examples of informational articles. Why do we read informational articles? Well, we do it for a number of reasons. 1, to learn new information. It will provide us with new information that we did not know prior, or it might expand or connect to information that we already know. For example, you might read a news article about what is happening in the world right now that you might already have some knowledge about. Informational articles can also help to challenge our thinking. We might have a certain idea of the way that something works or how something is, or knowledge that we have and we say, yes, I know this was 100% true. But perhaps we read an informational article that makes us think differently or to challenge what we knew before. That's a good thing because it helps us to grow in our learning. And as always, it helps us to develop stronger reading skills, which is very important to me as your English teacher. So I'm going to give you and review the steps of reading an informational article. So first, you should start by reading the title of the article and the headings. The title will be found at the beginning. It is typically much larger than other text on the page, and it will help to explain the focus of the reading. So this article says, in Kashmir, Indian government rounding up children. This helps us to focus that the reading is in India, and it is about the Indian government rounding up children, rounding up meaning gathering or taking. Headings are parts in an article that are typically short. They're not complete sentences, usually. They are sometimes bolded or underlined, like this example right here. That gives a clue about what kind of information we might see in that section. So for example, the heading here is atmosphere of fear. When I see that, well, I know the word fear means being afraid. Atmosphere is like the feeling of an area. So if a place has an atmosphere of fear, that means people are probably afraid. So I'm probably going to learn information about how people are afraid. Targeting everyone from teens to longtime politicians. I know politicians are people who work in politics or in the government. And it sounds like in this section, I'm going to learn that the Indian government is rounding up everyone from teenagers to even longtime politicians. Step 2. So we've read our headings and titles. When you are reading an informational article, the first sentence or two in every paragraph will give us the main ideas. So here we go. Detaining Farhan is a part of a sweeping crackdown by the Indian government. This is telling me that there is a crackdown by the Indian government. Crackdown meaning that they are starting to have the police officers go out and they're enforcing laws very harshly. And then the other main idea, the conflict stems from the partition of India in 1947, which resulted in the creation of India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. When it says partition of India, that means like the separating of India. In 1947, India was separated and became 3 new countries. These are giving us the main ideas of each paragraph. What comes after the main ideas is the supporting details. The supporting details come afterwards. You might see information that includes numbers, dates, and it might use certain phrases like, for example. So let's go back to our example here. The conflict stems from the partition of India in 1947, which resulted in the creation of India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh. That's our main idea. Both India and Pakistan claimed the entirety of the former princely state of Jammu and Kashmir. It is in the northern part of the South Asian subcontinent. India and Pakistan split control of the area. Oh, so I have more supporting details. This conflict, these problems, might be coming from the fact that both India and Pakistan controlled this area in the past, and now they share control of it. 2 countries sharing control of an area might lead to conflict. The last thing, you can use graphics to help you understand. Graphics include pictures, photos, graphs, tables, and we can look at these because they're always going to be connected to the main ideas or the supporting details of an informational article. And some might even have a caption that helps to explain more information. So for example, here is a photograph. This is an example of a graphic. And below is a caption that says, 17-year-old Junaid Shafi Mir was among the thousands detained by Indian authorities in Kashmir in India. This helps us, we see that there's another example of another person that was captured by Indian police officers. So at this point in the video, if you have not taken the notes on this information already, please stop the video and go back to find the information that you need and write it down, please. Ready for the second part? Wonderful. So when we are doing our informational article readings, I ask you to annotate. Annotate means to write on the text to identify certain components. We're going to quickly review our annotation strategies that you can use in the following weeks. So you should highlight the main ideas in one color. So if you have a highlighter at home, you can use this to highlight the text to show the main ideas. This will help you because this is the most important information, and you can look back later and see all of the information is highlighted. If you don't have a highlighter, you can use a pencil, a pen, a marker, a crayon. There are many things you can use. And at the end of this, I will show you how you can highlight an informational article on the computer. My second piece of advice, highlight supporting details in another color. That way you can tell the difference between a main idea and a supporting detail. Do you need to highlight every single supporting detail in an informational article? No, you just need to have some parts of the article that you can use later in your writing or in your speaking. If there are words you don't know, you should circle them. And there's a couple different strategies that you can use here. One, you can look it up using a dictionary, or you can use the computer for this. Or you can keep reading in the informational article because sometimes it helps to explain what a word means already. So for example, down here, photosynthesis, this was a word I didn't know, so I circled it. Or the process that plants use to make food is a common component of all plants. Oh, so now I have a definition written into the article about this word. And as always, you should write your thoughts or ideas in the margins. The margins are the sides of the paper that don't have any writing on them. You should write down your thoughts, your ideas, your questions. You can write in any language that you know. It's not a requirement for you to write your thoughts in English. But when you are completing an assignment, that has to be in English. So, if you have not already, please make sure that you get all of the notes written down to help you with this. Please pause the video if you need to. At the very end, I will help with showing how to do this on a computer as well. So I'm going to show you how to use a computer to highlight information, okay? So I am going to pull up a document that has writing on it, okay? And then I am going to show you how you can highlight information. So I'm going to share my screen again. Congratulations, you're gonna see a paper that I wrote for my graduate school program. But I'm gonna show you where in Microsoft Word you can use to highlight the information. So if I want to highlight part of the text, I'm going to make sure that it's covered. And I'm gonna go up here to where it says text highlight color. And I'm going to pick a color to use. Let's say this is my main idea. The supporting detail, I can make sure to highlight and then change to a different color. If you're doing this online, you can't really use it to look up the definitions of words or to write your ideas in the margins, but you can always use a piece of paper to write down your ideas. So, for your assignment this week, that is due by Sunday, May 3rd, please make sure to send me an email that writes up information about how you should approach reading an informational article and any questions that you have. To do this, you're going to need to log on to your email, and you will need to write an email to me. So I'm going to share my screen one last time. So you're going to open your email, and you're going to click New Message, and you're going to type to me, and you're going to put week 2 assignment. Here you're going to type your information. I expect 3 to 5 sentences about how you should read an informational article and any questions that you have. You will type the information here, and and click send down below. If you have any questions, remember, you can email me, you can contact me during office hours, and you can ask me during Zoom meetings. You're going to do great. Enjoy the work.